Hey, Justin here. So, yeah, a bit pressed for time, but just want to give a quick update what's going on because I haven't given one for a while now, but there hasn't actually been that much going on, so I haven't missed that much. But what we do have now is this gorgeous little miniature Phragmipedium schlimii. Has opened up for its first time blooming, so it's tiny little flower. I put my finger next to it for reference. Just a couple of, I think it's probably 4 centimeters across, but definitely one of the smallest frags, and already blooming on a very small plant. That was a Japanese maple, just got delivered, so going to be busy in the garden later. So to the right of that you see this really decrepit looking little miniature cattleya here. So I'll put up the flowers of it. It was very nice, and I had another cattleya over here. It's also finished now. This is SLC jewel box dark waters, and this plant actually tested positive for the virus, so going to throw it out, but because it was in bud, I decided to let it flower. And the flowers were so beautiful, and I was looking at the flowers and looking at this one as well, and I just had happened to have some toothpicks on the table, so I thought, well, why not? So I took the pollen of the jewel box and put it onto this Japanese beauty. So that's why these flowers are now, they quickly fade. So we'll see if the ovaries swell up, and who knows, maybe we'll get some seeds out of that one, and the jewel box will live on. But that's the first time I've ever tried that, so that was kind of fun. And the other thing, I don't really have that much in the way of orchids at the moment, but some of the tillandsias have been in bloom, and this is a really nice one. Flowered last year as well, so they just flower once per growth, so, and then the little kaikis come out. So this is a kaiki from last year's growth. Now next to that there's another kaiki there that will flower probably next year. This is Eranthos, Tillandsia Eranthos. Really nice one, and they're super easy, much easier than orchids. So as I mentioned, I had to dispose a lot of plants because of virus, so I started virus testing. All of the plants that are coming into my collection, and because I had to throw out a lot of flowering size cattleyas, I decided to get some more flowering size cattleyas to replace them. And these 4 in front of you here are the from Ecuagenera. So these 4 plants which I just got this week from Ecuagenera, and I tested them, and all 4 of them were negative. And yeah, I think this is a good example of the plants that you get from Ecuagenera these days. It's actually the first time I've purchased anything from Ecuagenera in years and years and years, probably 10 years. And yeah, I think they've really come along since then. So these are really good plants. They've got a European web shop now, and so they import the plants themselves to their European distributor, and I think they grow the plants on there. So these plants are all pretty well rooted. So it's a far cry from the cattleyas that you get from a lot of the other web shops, which were just imported directly from Taiwan or Thailand or Brazil or wherever, and it's up to you to then bring them back to life. So they've already done that process for you on these plants, and I think the prices were pretty reasonable, so they often have sales there, 10% off on their website, so just wait for that. And these ones were all around 32 to 35 euros each, which, yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. But let's have a look at what they are specifically. So that's, has it got the name on it there? Shunguito, this one, which is, from my memory, this is Ludemaniana by Chialin, something like that. So probably a little bit of a warmer grower, given that Ludemaniana is a warm grower, and Chialin is probably 50% Dowiana, so that would also be fairly warm growing. So probably treat this as a bit of a warmer grower. And this one, this shorter one here, is actually Pacavia. Let's see if I can get the, there we go. Oh, yeah, move the camera onto it. Cattleya Pacavia, so this is the primary hybrid of Tenebrosa and Purpurata. Really nice looking primary hybrid, and you can see this is like a really growing very rapidly, it seems. So that's going to turn into a big plant, and I would expect this to become a fairly tall plant as well. So this probably not really flowering size, but it certainly is a big, robust looking plant. This one next to that is Keep Smiling. Yeah, so this is one of their own hybrids. So Ecuagenera have got their own hybridization facilities and breeding. So they are now registering some of their own hybrids. So I looked it up. This is a very recent one, and I think Shinguita was also a very recent one. Might also be one of theirs. But yeah, this one looks like pretty, yeah, it's a pretty good sized plant, isn't it? I mean, that's great, really, compared to some of the other ones that you get. Right, so two more of the Equagenera Cattleyas on the left. Cattleya Pauline Portia, which is Tenebrosa by Percivaliana. So that should be a more compact growing one. And on the right is Tenebrosa by Purpurata, that's Cattleya Pacavia. So eventually that should, I would imagine, become the larger, taller plant, but at the moment it's the other way around. And that Pacavia is a real little bushy little plant, so it's got lots of growths going in all directions, but I don't think it's yet flowering size. Pauline Portia, on the other hand, should be approaching flowering size, and they both look like really nice Tenebrosa hybrids. Of course, Tenebrosa is kind of like the magical ingredient in the Cattleya hybrids, which is known for bringing out really beautiful colours in its hybrids. So, got the new haul from Schwerter, and yeah, in accordance with my new virus control procedure, I am testing them for virus. And so 3 plants here, 3 flowering size plants tested, and see the result. The one on the left, very first plant I tested, it's positive. So this is Vanda TriStar Blue. That's the label. And that has tested positive. So yeah, I'm really glad that I am now testing, and I will be reporting this back to Schwerter. I'll be interested to see what they say. They did give me a refund for the mislabeled plants, so I was very happy about that. They always do. So I imagine they will also give a refund for this, but just goes to show this is how you get viruses into your collection. Right, so these are all the little seedlings that are in the haul. So I'm going to proceed to virus test some of them, maybe not all of them, because some of them are really so tiny, like this one, Angraecum linearifolium. It's the tiniest little thing. I don't think I'm going to bother. And there's a PAF in there. I'm not going to bother to virus test that either. They're not really susceptible. But most of the rest, I think I will test them just to be on the safe side. So let's find out. Alright, so I completed the testing of all the little seedlings, and the only thing that's visible is the control stripe on all of the tests. So they're all clean, so which is pretty much what I expected. I think the little seedlings, there's much less chance of them being infected. Of course, it still is possible, but yeah, if you look at it on a risk basis, if you wanted to really focus your resources onto only testing plants which are more likely to be tested, then I would recommend to test those large imports which have been grown outside of Europe and imported into Europe at a mature stage. Yeah, what happens in those nurseries overseas, you don't really have any knowledge of what goes on there, but anecdotally what I've heard is that some of them don't have terribly good sanitary conditions. Of course, it would vary from nursery to nursery, and in Europe maybe there's also nurseries that don't have terribly good sanitary conditions. So it's always a risk. You can never be sure, but at least the little seedlings fresh out of flask, a lot of them probably haven't had that much chance to be exposed anyway. So yeah, probably less chance of them being infected, and that's what I see here. Of these 9 plants, none of them were infected. Of the 3 larger plants, one of the 3 was infected. Obviously, it's not a large enough sample size to draw any concrete conclusions, but I'm personally fairly convinced that that's probably fairly representative. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what I've discovered by testing this haul of 15 plants. 3 plants I didn't test in the end because one a PAF and the other 2's just so tiny. Didn't really seem to be any point to test them. And the other thing is, obviously, I will be monitoring them as they grow, and if they show any signs which could make me think that they might be infected, then obviously I can test them again. But so I put the little green sticker on, which indicates that they're clean and ready to go into the collection.